Hello everyone and welcome to GTA Online Racing episode 32. Now way back in episode 13 of this series I was given a load of money in one of those glitched random lobbies, so I decided to take a lot of the fastest cars that I'd found and fully mod them out and test them to see if there were any changes and find out which were the fastest fully modded cars in each class. Now that was way back in episode 13 and we've had a lot of changes since then. Obviously because now we're on episode 32, we've had a lot of new cars come out that have taken the top spots. We've had the change with the spoilers now increasing traction. We've had a lot of changes where the lists might change, the top cars in each class may be different. So in this video I'm going to just go over them all again. I'm going to go over each of the classes, just tell you guys which are the quickest and generally keep you guys up to date on the cars that you need to be using for racing. Now I just want to point out that I'm not going and testing all of these cars again like I did in episode 13. I am doing it for a few that I haven't previously tested, but for a lot of them nothing's changed. For a lot of them I've already been over it in previous videos, so you know, I'll explain which ones they are, but for the majority of them I've already been over it. We already know. If you have watched all my videos up to this point, you should already know most of the classes already. So keep that in mind as you're watching. If you want a further explanation of why one is quicker than another or something like that, for the most part that will all be covered in previous videos. So I would suggest if you haven't watched all of the videos, especially in this series, go and do that, because I would say a lot of a fair few comments that I get are asking questions about things that I've already covered in previous videos, and that's just in general as well. So yeah, if you do have any wonderings about why one car is quicker than another, I will have covered it in a previous video. All this video is going to do is just go over it again and just put it all there in one specific video for you guys to refer to. But there are some that I have had to test again, and those are sort of further towards the end of the lists. Having said all that, I would actually like to test every single car again fully modded and bring you guys brand new lists showing where every car is in comparison with each other when they're fully modded. I will talk a lot more about that at the end of the video, so don't go anywhere once we've got these lists completed. But yeah, I'll explain a lot more about what I want to do with that and how you can hopefully help me with it as well. So yeah, let's get straight into it now after we finish this race that you're seeing. And basically we're going to start with the vehicles, the classes that aren't any different from episode 13. So if you go back and watch episode 13, you'll see all of the classes that we're about to see, and they will be exactly the same. The fastest vehicle in each of these classes will be exactly the same as what they were all the way back in episode 13. So we're going to start the same way we started back then with the motorbikes, the fastest class in the game. And this is no change. It's the Barty 801, always the quickest, quicker than the Akuma as long as you get the front wheel up with it and as long as you wheelie with it. Next up we've got off-road vehicles, and again this is still the Sanchez, again as long as you get the front wheel up with it. You can also choose the Bifter. It's a lot closer now if you want to not run the risk of being knocked off, but the Sanchez is the quickest. Sports cars, and we've got the Elegy again. The Elegy is still supreme, just so much traction, it will rival most of the supercars for lap time. Now sports classics, and again this is still the Z-Type. The Z-Type is just crazy quick. Even without a spoiler it still dominates everything in its class. It's certainly beating the Monroe and the Pigali. And finally we've got the sedans. The sedans is the Shafter has always been the quickest when fully modded, and with the spoiler now it's even quicker. It's just absolutely dominant in its class. You can't look past the Shafter fully modded. Now for supercars, and we have a change here from episode 13, but you should already know about all of these now. The Zentorno is easily the quickest supercar by far and away, so much more dominant than the Entity ever was, and rivals the bikes for lap time now. SUVs, we've got the Huntley S, which we've been over before. The Huntley S is easily the quickest SUV. Doesn't matter that it doesn't have a spoiler. And now for compacts, and we saw this in the spoilers improved traction video, it's the Rhapsody. The Rhapsody is the best compact to use. Stock, it's slower than the Blister, but fully modded with its spoiler, it does become quicker than the Blister. And also the vans, we've got the Bison. Obviously that's no change from the original series, but we didn't actually test these fully modded first time around. So the Bison is absolutely supreme for the vans class fully modded, and for utility vehicles it should come as no surprise that we have the Sadler, which absolutely destroys everything there. So those are the ones that have sort of changed, we haven't covered before, and now we're getting into those that I had to actually go out and test again. So the Coupes class has a big change. The Zion is now the quickest. Obviously, as you can see, the times on the right hand side, the Exemplar still retains its 58.4 from the previous video, but the Felon is a lot closer to it now. It's only 1/10 of a second slower, and in terms of outright speed, I guess you could say, you know, it's more of a style thing. You can choose either the Felon or the Exemplar, and it doesn't really matter which one you have. But the Zion now destroys everything because of its spoiler. As long as you put the spoiler on, it will have a lot more traction than both the Exemplar and the Felon, and as long as you use it correctly, it will get quicker lap times for you. Again, they are pretty close, you know, that's only half a second separating the top three, and basically they've kind of they've changed from a completely dominated class by the Exemplar to being quite open, and you can use either of these three cars and really do well in races, to be honest. The Zion is ultimately the quickest, but you can use any three of them really, and you should do fine. So it's more of a style thing. Go for what you feel is best. So that's the coupes. That was the first one that I actually had to go out and test all over again because of the spoiler change, and the next one that I had to test was the muscle cars. Now again, this is quite a style thing because as you can see there, the Dominator and the Blade got almost identical lap times, and that's what you're going to see here. So as you'll see throughout the course of these laps, the Dominator will get an early lead because of its higher top speed, higher straight line speed. But then the Blade will start to catch it up in all of the corners for the rest of the lap, and will actually get in front until we get to the straight right at the end, and then they'll pretty much cross the line at exactly the same time. So yeah, between the Dominator and the Blade, there's very little to choose. Again, it's quite a style thing. The Dominator is a lot harder to handle, but I would say, you know, the Blade also, it takes a while to get used to it. It's very much a style thing. You go for what you feel is best and what you can get quicker lap times with, rather than anything else. You know, don't just go for the Dominator because it was 6/100ths of a second quicker. You just go for what you feel is best. Definitely try them both out. Of note, obviously, the Gauntlet, it doesn't have a spoiler anymore, so that's way off the pace, and the Ruiner gets about a 1 minute lap time, so it's about a second off the pace of these two as well. So it's basically the muscle cars class is down between these two, and you should go for whatever you feel is best for your style. Now finally, just a little bit of a bonus, we've got the fastest four-seater car, and that is now the Sultan. The Sultan has taken the crown for the fastest four-seater car from the Exemplar, which is still, as you can see, in second place with the Felon in third. And then the Buffalo S is about a second even further up back from that. So obviously the Buffalo S is a bit of a disappointment. But the Sultan, with its spoiler and with its crazy, obviously it's got, you know, really good acceleration with the fully modded variant of it because of its four-wheel drive system. Crazy levels of grip for, you know, four-door cars, let's say, because it's still not going to be anywhere competitive in the sports class. But as for four-door cars, it is easily the quickest, the Sultan now. Lots of grip, lots of acceleration, four-wheel drive, just the best one to have transporting three of your friends. So if you do want the best four-door car, the Sultan is the one to go for now, although obviously the Exemplar and the Felon are still pretty good options if you don't like that. And the Buffalo S isn't too much slower either. So there we have it, all of the fastest fully upgraded vehicles in each racing class and the fastest four-door car all in one video for you to easily digest. Now remember, I only had to test the last three because I've already done all of the testing for all of the other vehicles in previous videos, so I would suggest you go back and watch all of those if you haven't already. Also, the original lists that I did with all stock vehicles, they aren't affected, they're all the same. It's only that we've had differences to the upgrades and different cars that have been added along the way. So before you all click off the video, there is one last thing that I'd like to discuss, and that is that I'd quite like to test every single car in the game fully modded, and bring you guys a big list showing every single vehicle in the game fully modded with lap times and tell you how they compare with each other. Obviously videos like this are just showing the best cars in each class, but I find it interesting, and I think you guys would find it interesting to know when they are fully modded how they compare against each other. Obviously the original series that I do, that is all stock vehicles, and you know, that's been quite successful, people enjoy it, and I'd like to do the same sort of thing for fully modded vehicles, but it's very difficult to do. The main reason being that I just don't have the in-game funds to do it. When I tested them all back in episode 13 and I only tested the top cars in each class, I was given billions of dollars in one of those glitched lobbies, so I had the funds just to do it. But at the moment, you know, that all left, I don't have the funds in-game, and I can't really justify spending £65, you know, nearly $120 on an $8 million cash card. You know, I just can't justify that to myself. I'm not exactly the richest guy in the world, you know, I just can't really justify spending that kind of money just to do this. On the other hand, it's also going to be very time consuming as well. You know, if I set out to test every single car in the game fully modded, it is going to be a while before I get to do them all, because it's not just testing them, it's acquiring them, either buying them or finding them, then upgrading them, then doing all the testing, then selling it and going for another one. It is going to be quite time consuming and it will take quite a while. However, it's something that I would still very much like to do, because I think you guys would find it interesting, and I would certainly find it interesting to see how all of the cars compare with each other when they are all fully modded. Now obviously the problem is we don't know what changes Rockstar might be making in the future. They might make different modifications, have different effects. Nothing we can really do about that. But as it stands right now, it's something that I would find quite interesting, and I think I could make some really entertaining videos for you guys to watch based around that as well. So, with that in mind, there is something that people have generally commented to me every so often mentioning about donations, and I've never really been one for donations. You know, I don't like the idea of just having a page there where people can just send me money for no reason. You know, it's something that doesn't sit right with me. It's just the kind of character I am, I guess. I'm not really a fan of that sort of thing. But I'm not sure I feel so bad about it when there's an actual goal to be achieved, and, you know, something that you guys would get out of it. You know, for example, if we set a goal of £65 to get one $8 million cash card, I think I can make that last to be able to test every single car fully modded if I'm clever with the money that I spend. And by the end of it, you guys will get an end product. You know, you'll get a lot of videos for you to watch, a lot of information about the fact, you know, how cars compare with each other when they are fully modded. It's not just giving me money and not seeing anything for it. You know, you're actually getting something, an end product for your donation, and I feel a lot better about that. So to that end, I am going to make it possible to donate to me, and don't feel like you have to. I really don't want anyone to feel like they have to. I'm putting the option there. If you want to donate, we only need 65 people to donate £1, or 115 people to donate $1. You know, that's how it works out. If you want to donate any amount towards this sort of goal of getting a cash card to do all these tests, then feel free. If it's something that you're not bothered about seeing, if you don't have any money to donate, you know, don't feel like you have to. I really don't want to push anyone into it. But if you do want to see these videos, if you do want to donate something for this, specifically for this, nothing else, then I will put a link down in the description. Click on that and then you can go for it. We'll see how it works out. If you know, people aren't really that bothered, then I might not bother doing it, or I might just put the rest of the money myself or something like that. We'll just see how it goes. But if you do, have a look down in the description, and I will certainly, if I do get enough money to be able to do this testing, I will make sure to mention you all, at least in the description of a video, to those guys who do actually donate. So yeah, you know, don't feel like you have to. I hate doing this and kind of asking for donations or something like that. You know, it feels a bit wrong to me. But if you want to, the option is there. And remember that these videos wouldn't be out anytime soon. It would take a long time to get them done. If I get to the point where I can start doing it, I will obviously work hard on getting it done, but I don't want it to affect any of my videos that would come out anyway. So it will be taking quite a while, but we'll just see how it goes. You know, I don't want to think too far ahead at any moment now. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. You know, I really do appreciate your support. It's absolutely fantastic, and you know, watching all these videos, I hope I'm keeping you guys entertained as much as possible, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to bring you guys some great videos in the future. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Leave all your comments down below, what you think about, you know, the video, the lists, and all those sort of things. And if you have any improvements that you think could be made to my testing as well, you know, if you have any criticisms of the way that I test, feel free that, you know, now would be the time to put them all in the comments to let me know. Obviously constructive criticism is the most appreciated, but put it all in the comments and I'll certainly read it and take it on board. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Again, I really do appreciate all your support as always, and I'll see you next time.